It is time for another 3D modeling live stream, and I'm doing something a little bit different today because, yes, this stream is happening in the evening time instead of the morning time. Normally, I run my streams first thing in the morning on Wednesday because Wednesday is the day that I don't have to go into my day job so early. However, that tends to be a problem because why does that tend to be a problem? Oh, because I'm not catching anybody in America. Nobody in America is watching streams that early, so I'm catching people in Australia and England. That's not a problem. I phrase that as a problem. That is not a problem. But I'm hoping that by streaming this time in the evening that we can get more people. Well, we've got Ken from Denver, Colorado here. So yeah, we're getting some people. And it is another 3D modeling live stream challenge. So last time that we did this, let me pull up Blender here. Last time that we did this, we modeled a kangaroo phone holder, which was very fun and very cool. Fun fact, that little gap at the beginning of this stream when it started exists because what happens is I hit go on my streaming software and I run that, and then I have to wait for that stream to get to YouTube, and then I can start the stream, and then I go back to my streaming software and I switch it over. So the length of that gap is the length of the gap, the lag in the stream. So if you're wondering how long it takes me to see a comment and respond to a comment, it is the length that you guys watch that opening sequence. I don't know, I just wanted to mention that. Okay, last time we made a kangaroo, but I did it low poly for a couple of reasons. The biggest one being I only really take an hour to do these streams, so I've only really got an hour to do it. This time, we could do a couple of things. One thing we could do is we could make a high poly version of this, and I could show you guys what is involved in making a higher poly model from a low poly model. And I kind of set up this model specifically to do that with. And so that could be a very interesting thing. Another suggestion was on the Discord. Somebody suggested PrintAChess. That I wanted to know, PrintAQuest, I think as a system, could be used for all kinds of games. However, obviously I'm using it for PrintAQuest, and some people are going to be using it for D&D, but what would you guys use it for? And the suggestion was PrintAChess. Well, I don't think PrintAChess is necessarily going in with PrintAQuest. But I could do PrintAChess this evening, so that could be a lot of fun. So, yeah, let's see. I don't see any suggestions in the comments. It's all entirely up to you guys. Something is tickling my nose this evening. That is unprofessional and gross. I apologize. One thing that I didn't do before we got started, I wanted to set it up so that chat would be in the video, but I'm not doing that. So in lieu of any other suggestions, I think I'm gonna work on PrintAChess this evening. I think that's a fun idea. I just gotta go to don't say this. I didn't really change anything. Let's go to our PrintAQuest, and I'm actually gonna just do this in the novelty PrintAQuest. In fact, let me pull up. Ugh, boy, I'm showing you guys all my open folders. Well, that's all right. Unprofessional here. All right, let's go into the PrintAQuest models. Let's go into the parts. Let's go into the 900. Oh, I got plenty of space in here. 9, 10, 20, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. How many do we need for chess? So chess has the king, the queen, the bishop, the knight, the rook, and the pawn. So really we just need 6, unless we want to do something clever and have the other side be something else. I don't know. Let's see how this goes. PrintABenchi, pent wheel, pent cover, PrintABlok logo at 930. The PrintABlok recreator at 970. Oh, you know what? I know that I'm missing something because, yeah, the writer's blocks were at 932. 950 was our adapters. 975 was our organizers. So, if we're going to do print a chess, it needs to be before 932. Don't really have space in here. Could potentially do it at... Am I doing anything with 900? Let me search for 900 proper. Sorry, I'm just trying to find space in the PrintABloks to see if there is any... Yeah, okay, so I haven't done anything with 900. We could make 900 be chess. 900, and that we would have to stop at... It's silly things, but I want this to be official, so we would have to stop at 910. So we have from 900 to 910, which unfortunately means if we want to do two sides, we would be going to 912. So maybe I should find somewhere else in there. Let's see. 918 to 930. How much space is that? 919 minus 930. Did those backwards, but who cares? That's 11. Oh, one short. Yeah, we can't do that. Unless I move to reassign the wheel. I think I'm just going to do it in 900. We're just going to do one size. Just going to do one set. So here we go. We're going to create a new... Alright, so we're going to start by creating a new collection in this one. We're going to call this 900 Print a Chess. Where is everybody? Chat is awful quiet today. Oh well. Maybe evening time is the wrong time to do this, and we will have nothing but replays to look back on. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So, I'm going to start with the low poly sid. My head wants to make this low poly. I don't know why, but my head wants to make this low poly, so we're going to start with some low poly. What in the blue blazes? Why have I got that setting on? So this is an existing file, so obviously I've got, you know, it's an existing file. There's stuff already going on in it, and one of the things is that I have edge lengths on, and now I have to search through all the settings to remember where you turn those off. There it is. Alrighty. Alright, so this is going to be the base of our chess set. And that's how big we're going to be able to make it. But I want to do something interesting with the base here, and I'm not quite sure what yet. Maybe what I want to do. Let's see. I'm going to move that up 2. Move these up 1. That way there's 2 millimeters below, 2 millimeters above. We got these guys in the middle, and I'm just going to give them just a little shrink like that. Oi, you're supposed to go up 1. Extrude Z 1. Okay, we're going to shrink this down. Actually, maybe what we want to do... Ooh, I don't hate this. Let's keep going and see where it takes us. Alright. That is a interesting... Well... Oh my. Oh my. What do we got going on here? My pivot point was the active element, not the medium point, and consequently it shrunk weird. So we're going to have to fix this. I'm just going to delete these vertices, grab these bridge edge loops. That'll clean it up. Put another edge loop in the middle there, and then shrink it down properly. There we go. That sucks less. Hey, GG for G. Jason, how are you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Thanks for popping in the chat. Here we go. Print a chess pawn. And I'm just gonna, these are the pawn parts, and I don't think there are going to be a whole lot of pawn. Man, it's pawn. No, it's not. It's pawn. Okay, let's never just talk about that again. I'm going to take this. Is this Blender with the CAD extension? No, this is just Blender. This is just what Blender do. This is what Blender is capable of. The thing that everybody says Blender can't do, it can totally do it. Oops. How do we want to do this? Oh, I see. It's 12 by 12 by 12. I mean, okay, here's the thing. I like my pawns to have solid tops on them. And if I bring it down like this, then there's no overhang. It's all good. You know what I need to do? So Jason's saying, wow, Blender, you know, this is what Blender can do. Yeah, Blender's not hard. This is why I do these live streams. I like people to get an idea of what Blender can do. But, yeah, Blender's not that difficult. It got much better in Blender 2.8. In Blender 2.8, they actually like put some effort into making it user-friendly, and they succeeded. So it got much better. I'm looking at this, and part of me wants to add some additional details, like something that goes spinny around it on a diagonal. And I mean, it's my pawn. I can do whatever I want with it. You know, I could do that if I wanted. So what I'm doing here is just simple extrude and shrink wrap, extrude and shrink wrap, or not shrink wrap, just shrink. I don't hate this. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try something really fast. First, I'm going to duplicate this one, so if I fail, we'll have the duplicate. I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to put some edge loops here. Not a lot, just a couple. I'm going to grab all of these points, and I'm going to triangulate them. The triangulate did not go the direction I wanted it to, so all the ones that are going the wrong direction, I'm going to grab. Okay, I need to hide the previous base. There we go. So anybody going that way, that way, that way, that way. That. The little mouth noises are in fact important to it. Then we hit Control E and rotate clockwise, and now everything is going the same direction. Good. Now I'm going to grab every... Wait, how can we not let me just grab the loops? I want to grab the loop. Alt select should automatically grab the loop, but it's not doing it for me. It's no prob. We're just going to grab it like this. This is the slow way to do it, but who cares? Hopefully the math of this works out, and every other works out. Okay, and now we're going to hit Control B to bevel it. We're going to bevel it 1 millimeter. Yeah, that'll work. Control minus to shrink it back down. We got a little mess up in the corner here. We'll fix that in just a second. And then we're going to just scale it out like that. How do we feel about that? It's slightly more interesting now. I will say that. It's slightly more interesting. That's what I was going for. So we're going to go with it. I just need to clean up some of the low poly geometry here. And there we go. So G for G. Okay, so Jason, while I got you here, we'll talk about something in just 1 second. Let me respond to your comment. It says, I designed and printed some keychains for Geeky Guys for God to hand out at San Diego Comic-Con. Awesome. I wish I was going there with you. That would be very cool. And I want to get back into cons and fairs and being out in the public again. But I need to finish PrintAQuest. I'm this close to finishing PrintAQuest. For those who maybe haven't been keeping up on the PrintAQuest, because it's mostly updated now on the campaign. I finished the last hero, or the next hero for the swamp, which is the pirate princess Zelda. I don't like this very much. I'm going to grab these and rotate them clockwise and get them out of the way, because I want them to be convex, not... so, let's see. There we go. I'm not totally sold on that, but I like it better. So, PrintAQuest is going along. I need to model one more character, the troll, on it. And then... I don't like that one. Wow. I don't know. Okay, we're gonna go with that. I'm not 100% sold on it, guys. I'm gonna reserve the right to mess with it later. So PrintAQuest is pretty much done at this point, but unfortunately, I am not going to be able to work on it much for the rest of the month. So it's going to be a little while before I finally get it finished. It's going to be another month. And then I need to work on the physical. I just got the boxes in, which is pretty exciting. All right. How do we feel about this pawn here? Oh, boy. Blender is, I don't know what Blender's doing that it's thinking so hard, but there we go. This is the pawn top. But, once I've got PrintAQuest under my belt and going good, I kind of want to, I want to explore the possibility of doing physical sales, and which would give me an excuse to go to fairs and conventions and things like that. Why don't I have my empty on here? Doggone it. Blender recently updated, and I lost all of my add-ons, so I've been having to put them back. Extra curve, extra mesh objects. Install that for me, please. There we go. Now I have my single vert object origin only, and we're going to call this bad boy here 900 printed chest pawn, and we're going to create him by just really quickly booleaning together all of the pawn pieces, and that creates that shape with no internal geometry, nice and clean the way we like it. And then we're going to really quickly Boolean subtract out the connector on the bottom, making it a PrintABlok. So there we go. That is our PrintABlok pawn, and that's done. What do you guys think? Do you guys like the spiral on there? Should I get rid of the spiral? We're hosting the game room at a small convention in a couple of weeks. We should have our PrintAQuest there. We need to reprint the rules, though. I recently redid the rules. So, yes, you need to reprint the rules. Talk to me in the Discord afterward. I will get you the updated rules. In fact, maybe I will have the same print shop that we worked with last time. Print those rules. Or if you have a suggestion for another print shop, let me know. I will get you some copies of the rules. All right, I want to go ahead and export the pawn, and that's good. We've done the pawn. Let's work on, and I guess we're working low to high. So let's start with the rook. And actually, I want to start with the same base. Kind of. Actually, that's pretty much the rook right there. So let's move this into printed chest rook. Create a new collection for printed chest rook. I don't know if I'm going to need this. We'll figure it out. We definitely will figure it out. But I will get you the new rules. I've been working on them. There was a problem with the rules before. Well, not so much a problem with the rules, but there's a problem with this piece here. They just weren't playable as is. You know, when you play test them, you learn a lot about them, and I learned a lot about them, and I decided it needed to change. Thank you. And so I changed them. All right, let's get this bad boy up. At least there. Let's make the pawn visible. No, we got to go taller. And I think we need this to go higher. That to go there. That to go there. Okay, cool. Now, like, how big did I put the divisions into pawn piece here? 1, 2.5 unintentionally. I did not think that through. I should have maybe thought that through a bit more. 1, 2.5 ish. Okay, good enough. Triangulate. Although, yeah, I could do this. But what I might do also is cut this. 1001 little decisions here, you know? Nope. And then there we go. And then what we should do is extrude, scale by half, and then every other one of these. Extrude. Now what's going to be interesting here is this is going to make a knight or a bishop, a rook that is off kilter, which is unusual, but I could fix it. Do I want to? Okay, first of all, there's our general rook shape. We got to work on the details, but there's our general rook shape. Now, how do we feel about the rooks being off kilter? Let me show you the fix for it, and then you guys can tell me what you think about this. And it's going to require me going back and undoing some stuff. Rotate 22.5 in the Z. Yeah, that's it. This is, well, this is possibly correct. Rotate 45 in the Z. That's probably better. Yeah, that's probably more what we want to go for. So this is what I think a proper knight should look like. It should have its parapets aligned like this. I want to do a little bit more with this. I will in a second. But this is what I think a proper knight should look like. But the original way, there's this way where they're aligned like that. And then there's the original way where they are just a little bit off on each one. Now, part of me likes this. You know, there's an artistic element to it that makes it different than other sets. But at the same time, part of me hates it. I can't decide. I definitely don't like that way. That's not what I was going for. But unfortunately, what I was going for... Let's see. Extrude, scale, in Shift-Z. Oh boy, that is interesting. And I like interesting. All right, but I got to decide, do I want the parapets to be aligned? Do I want them to be off kilter? Do I want them to be straight the way that we expect them to be in chess? I just do not know right now. Okay, a couple of comments. Criminy, I need to teach myself Blender. You know what? I'm feeling good about everybody saying that because, you know, I'm glad that people are seeing that Blender is capable. I'm glad that people are seeing Blender as something that it is approachable. That's kind of the point of these. Fix mode dude, am I using keyboard shortcuts to move the verts up and down in increments? So, excellent question. Let me talk about that for just 1 second. Let's pull aside here, grab a mesh, grab a cube, and I'm going to move it over to the side here. Now, the keyboard shortcut for this is G move, but you could just as well use the move command here. And once you use the move command, you're moving around. But notice my move is still snapping to the grid points. How am I doing that? Up here at the top of the window, there is a snap command. Now, this snap command is super duper useful. Usually, it's off. But if you turn it on, and you can open up the settings here, and there are so many settings in here. Right now, the only one that I'm worrying about is I snap by increment, which means, oh, actually, no, I should be snapping by grid. Let's snap by grid. Cool. So if you snap by grid, now whenever you move things around, they snap to the grid points. Now, the interesting thing about this is if you zoom in, and you notice these grid points start to become more visible, when you start snapping, the snapping will happen on the smaller increments that you can see. In other words, you are snapping on the grid that you see, and the grid that you see changes based on the angle that you're viewing it at and all those things. That is useful if you understand it. It is confusing if you don't. But that's how I'm getting everything to snap all nicely, is I'm using snap like that. All right. Is it just me, or is everyone getting AD now? I do not know what AD stands for. Let me know what you're talking about so I can be a part of this conversation. I am going to scale this down. I'm still trying to decide whether I want. Okay, we're gonna grab everything from here on up. And I'm going to scale it down so that it fits within the 16 millimeter. I think I'm going with the cattywampus knight. I think I'm going with the knight that doesn't line up perfectly. That's just a little bit of me in there, and I think I'm going to do that. Meanwhile, let's get all these edges aligned. Everybody slash going that way is getting selected and going to be rotated. All right, now we're going to grab every other one. Oh, man, the fact that I got to do this by hand. I wish that the Alt Select worked on this, but it does not, and I don't know why. There we go. Yes, I'm selecting. Wait, why does that feel like that's not aligning? No, it's aligning. It's aligning perfectly. Whoops. Got him? Got him? Good. Bevel by 1. Control minus. Scale it into Shift Z. Like that. Oh, I got a problem. Oh, I messed it up. I messed it up. Because we're bumping outside of the 16 millimeters here. I know what I messed up. I know what I got to do. And I don't want to do it. Yep, I got to nuke them all. Alright, 2.5 I said. about approximately. I wonder if... wonder if I could bring that down and make that 2.5. Also, this didn't work out the way that I was hoping it would. What do I want to do about that? What do I want to do about that? We'll figure it out later. Alright, who's going the wrong way? You. You. Not you. You're fine. You. 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 And you. Okay. Alright, let's select every other one. Actually, oddly enough, every other one is almost already selected for me. That's cool. Boop, 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 boop. Boop. I need to grab one there. How we doing? All the way around. Groovy. Control bevel by 1. Control minus to shrink it. Scale it into Shift Z. We're groovy. I am debating whether I need to fix the n-gons on the top and the bottom. Yeah, I do. I need to at least fix these ones. Alright. I usually have it to snap to vertex. Never thought to do it by grid. Nice. Yeah, snapping to vertex allows you to take two objects and put them together nicely, which is a choice. And sometimes that serves you. But I find snapping to grid is just super duper useful. Okay, yeah, we got to join you. Join you. Join you. Join you. And join you. I'll let the rest worry about themselves. Ooh, not hide. Join. Oh, there's so many. Okay. I think we're done. I think that's the rook. So I am not going to worry about the rook's parts and stuff like that. We're just going to work directly with the rook. Rook? Boy, that is me. Not English. Oh my goodness. I just tried to delete one thing. So Blender has a problem. I don't know. You know what I could do? You know what I could do? Oh, all the chess pieces are going to be 900. And then they're going to be 900p, 900r, 900. Yes, this is the way. The rook is R, right? So I actually had somebody suggest that I change my numbering system and put a letter at the beginning of each one of them for all of the individual groups. And I wish that I had thought about that at the beginning, because that is genius. And that is the way that I should do it going forward. I don't know if I'm going to change it at this point. I'm not sure. But nevertheless, let's come back to the rook. Pawn, hide, rook. All we need to do now on the rook is just Boolean subtract out. Oh, you know what I should do? Dang, blast it. The connector from the bottom. Ta-da! But I do need to put a little bevel on that. Does that mean I need to move everything up one? I think I'm going to move this stuff up by 1. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. But I'm also going to go back to the pawn real fast. So let me just export that real fast. And let me open up the pawn. And let me... Basically, I'm going to move all of this up by 1. So I can bevel the bottom. And then I'm going to move that up by 1. And we're going to re-export the pawn. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that. That connector isn't touching anything. That is beautiful. Okay, we got it. We are rocking a PrintABlok chess set. Next. All right. Is it just me or is everyone getting ads now? Oh, did YouTube put ads on my stream? Dadgummit, YouTube. I apologize, guys. If you aren't YouTube Plus or Extreme or whatever the heck they're calling it these days, yeah, you probably got an ad. But it didn't tell me that it was putting an ad down. So that wasn't nice. All right, the knight is going to be different. The knight. Let's hide the pawn here. It's going to have the same base as the pawn, but it's going to go crazy. How are we going to do? I have premiums, no ads for me, so there you go. How are we gonna do a low poly PrintABlok knight? The knight, to me, always departs from the idea of a chess set. Most of the chess pieces are easily represented by a lathed piece. You know, most chess sets, most chess pieces could be lathed, but not the knight. The knight always forces the you know, artist, if you want to say that, to like stretch themselves a little bit and do a little bit more. And I mean, I dig that, I do. But it always seems like the knight is the wrong one. And yet it's always the most beautiful one as well. It's the one that doesn't belong, but it's the one that defines the set. So I've always enjoyed the knight in chess. It's funny, I do not enjoy playing chess, but I enjoy the beauty of chess sets. I enjoy making chess. I am probably a bit weird, but I don't know, maybe I'm not unique in that. Maybe other people agree that chess the game is kind of me. I get 3 from the start. It's starting to be stupid. Really? Okay, all right. Well, how long have we been streaming? I've only been on here for, my streaming software says, oh, it's almost been an hour. Good golly. All right. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this before we have to call it a night. You know, I want to make it a plain. Oh, for Pete's sake. So for some reason, there's something in this particular file, and it's all of the past stuff that I have here. But every time I delete something, what in blue blazes? Every time I delete something, it like freezes up the computer. Right now, that looks like a shark's fin out of the corner of my eye. And what it is, I've probably got a modifier on somewhere. One day I need to learn a key to quickly collapse stuff. Somewhere I think I've got a modifier on, and every time I delete something, it feels like it needs to. Okay, what happened? Well, for some reason, I told it to add a plane and it added it in the wrong place. And I don't know where it is now, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'll find it later. Let's make a knight head. Oh my goodness. I need to pull up some reference material. I could just freehand it, but I want it to look good. Yes, there's definitely something special about the classic chest aesthetic, but I don't know what it is. I've never understood why. The knight who say knee. Yeah, well, definitely much faster. Well, I've been at this for a long time, like years. I've been doing this sort of thing for years. Um, I definitely need to refine the shape of the head. This is a terrible horse head. And I'm just going for like a simple low poly. Um, I mean, part of me wants to go silly and like put a visor on him or something, but I don't know if we want to. I don't know if we want to do that. I mean, I want to, but I don't know if I should. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm really thinking about it. Well, there is a game that I wanted to design or play that involved sharks eating people. I think the idea of the game was that you're trying to get the sharks to eat other people. This looks terrible. This looks more like an aardvark than a shark, or than a knight, than a horse. Hold on, hold on. Do we want to? Oh, hold on. We can revisit this another time. We can keep going with this now, but I need to look up some reference material for horses' heads. And like I always do, I use Google image search as my idea board. So we will pull that up there. Yeah, you look terrible. No? How come that button doesn't work? Usually you can hit Windows left or Windows right and it'll snap the entire window to being the left or the right. But this time it won't do that. Why won't you do that? There we go. Not the ideal way to do it, but we doing it. Nope. Nope, it don't want to do it. All right, let's go. Here we go. I don't love this. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go bonkers. I'm going to take this into sculpt mode. And I'm going to see what I can do with the sculpting tools. I'm going to turn on dynamic topology. All right, there it is, Dynotopo. Oh no, you're going to break it. Yep, I am totally going to do that. And let's go. Oh, shoot. All right, we ready? Here we go. This will enable me to work a little faster, but then I will smooth it out, or I will low poly it later. Burp. Burp. All right, love this. The mouth noises are absolutely vital to the process. What is that? What is going on here? It looks like Popeye the Sailor Horse. Ew. All right, we're having some fun here now, though. Well, it starts looking more like a horse, and then I look at it from above, and it looks like garbage. That is why change your perspective as often as you can. All right, what do we got going on here? Let's look at that. Oh, I kind of like the jiggy joggy on the little crease right there. But let's keep going here. We're just roughing out a horse head. I think the nose needs to be squeezed in just a little more. And let's give it a better nose here. Need to work on some ears. Didn't necessarily want to put the ears on this one, but I'm going to go ahead and start working on it here. I want to use the snake hook tool for this one. I can't... They added the snake hook tool a long time ago, and it's absolutely fantastic. But then they, like, I don't know, got ashamed of it. And they wanted to make some other tools to take its place. I still like the original, but they buried it, so it's hard to find. Okay, we're going to move your ears out just a little bit. There we go. We're going to go up to the clay stripe tool. And we're going to give you a mane. Boop. A little bit smaller. I always like my chess knights to have a big old Roman crest mane on them, you know. Big old sticky uppy mane. All right. That is already looking way better. We don't have a whole lot of time for this. You know, time is of the essence. I may have to stop after the night, though. But here's the deal. We've got the basics of a horse shape here-ish. I'm not entirely happy with it. Part of me wants to keep working on it. So I will. That's the way we're going to do it. We're going to go with our feelings. Our feelings say keep working on it. So I'm going to keep working on it. And I'm going to keep going until I hit on that moment of aha. Oh yeah, that's wrong. Let's work that just a little bit. Maybe what I need to do, over here, object mode, is go a little wider with it. Or maybe I'm too wide. Let's pull out the flatten tool and let's... I feel like the cheeks are splaying out too far. Oh, see? There it is. There's that aha moment. Oh, that's much better. And that's worse. All right. So, do we want to put a cool Geordie visor on our... Do we want to make it a Cyber Knight? Part of me wants to. I mean, like, it would be very, very much in tune with previous... Ooh, what the heck? Who the heck let me do that? That was terrible. There we go. That's better. But do we want a Cyber Knight? I'm still debating. And I'm debating with myself. All right. Thank you, Jason, for hanging out. All right. Let's... Oh, what's going on here? No. There we go. That's better. All right. Don't love that. Let me see if I can fix that. Let's flatten it. And then let's... Are we still in dynamic topology? No, we are not. No wonder it's acting weird. All right, now I am curious. If I were to just take this and run a decimate modifier on it. Ooh. Let's keep that Y symmetry, guys. We're just really... How come we're not getting that Y symmetry that we want? Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back into sculpt mode here. And I'm going to smooth out the hair. I want to make the mane separate. So we're going to smooth out the hair. Get rid of that. Okay. Just going to make the back of the head a little rounder, like the back of head should be. Okay. I'm going to crease the ears just a little bit. There we go. I kind of want to pinch the ears just a little bit. That's looking good. I don't know, is that looking horse ear shaped? Maybe I need to, I don't think they go up like that. That's better. Yeah, that's better. All right. Exit out the object mode. Let's turn on our low poly filter. That looks pretty good. I'm going to just apply that. We're going to symmetrize the mesh. Y to Y. Ooh. Not sure which one I like better. No, I like the other one better. This is the one I like better. But I'm going to take this and well, I don't know. Maybe I'm going to leave it. I don't know. Do I want to leave the eyes like that or do I want to? I remember we talked earlier about the snap tool. Well, if you ever want to not snap something, hold down the control key. Alternatively, if you ever want to, if you have the snap tool off and you want to quickly turn it on for something, hold down the control key. The control key either quickly turns the snap key on or off. What's going on underneath here? Nothing bad. Okay, I think I'm going to take that and zoom it like that. I'm not totally in love with this knight, but I'm going to go with it for now because we're almost out of time. I want to work on the mane real fast. And once again, I made it a cube, and I really should have made it a I made it a cube, and I really should have just made it a... Man, my brain is shut off. Plane. Should have made it a plane. But that's all right. We're going to go with it. All right, got to keep it within the 16 millimeters, and I think I'm going over like quite a bit. There we go. And you might go, what's the big deal, Joe, if we go over the 16 millimeters? Well, if we go over the 16 millimeters, then the pieces are going to be running into each other when they're sitting next to each other, you see? That actually is cooler than I anticipated it. I'm going to really quickly just like that. Make sure we're not running over the 16 millimeters. We are. There we go. Perfect. Honestly, I feel like the low poly in the face could use a little bit more work, but otherwise I'm not too disappointed with this. This is pretty good. Yeah. Oh, but we're running off the 16 millimeters on the front. Doggone it! All right, here we go. Grab everything. We're just gonna brute force this. Shrink it down. And oh, I hate how low that's making my knight. Where's my rook? Yeah, where's my pawn? See, he's shorter than the pawn. We got to do something about that. Orson! Mohawk Knight looks good. I've always liked the Mohawk Knight. I don't know why, but I've always liked Mohawks on my knights. So I'm making a chess set. We're gonna go with a Mohawk Knight. I almost feel like I could get a hoof up in there, but I'm not gonna worry about that for now. How do we like that? Actually, not bad. Not bad at all. Flare the base a bit? Well, the base is pretty consistent with the other ones. What do you think of flare the base? Never mind, I'm there. Okay. I'm not sure what you mean. But I'm happy that you're happy. Nope, don't like that. How about that? Nope, don't like that. Leave it the way it is. Sometimes you gotta mess with it to like it. I think I'm gonna move this out just a little bit. And I think I'm gonna move that out just a little bit. Can I move that forward just a little bit? And let's move the front of the Mohawk forward just a little bit. Maybe tilt the angle just a little bit. Maybe add another man, it's like an Elvis. It's like a pompadour now. The worst part is I don't hate it. We're gonna go with the pompadour knight. Okay, that's our knight. I think we're gonna go with that. So really quickly, in here, we're going to add an empty. we're going to add a, well, we're going to name it properly. Generate a Boolean union collection 900 night parts. There we go. Those are all Boolean together. And just a really quick Boolean difference with the connector. There we go. You know what? I do want to change one thing on this. Now that I'm looking at it completed, I want to take the base here, extrude it up, and I need to turn back on my snap. And maybe do like that. There we go. That I think will help it. I think that'll make it slightly... Oh, you know, I missed something. Okay, here we go. Let's scale it up. There we go. Little ridge, but also I'm gonna move that middle up just a little bit more. Be just a little bit more bold with this part. Maybe too bold, or maybe not bold enough. Let's, oops. Nah, too bold. Too bold. It almost looks like shoulders, and I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with it. We're staying within 16 millimeters square. Looks like the nose is... Oh, yeah, I moved the head forward a little bit, so we're going to move him back. How's that look? It looks like, yeah, we're staying within the 16 millimeters. It doesn't look quite as dynamic as I want. It doesn't look quite the way that I want, but it's what you get when you're working within limitations. Sometimes things don't look exactly the way that you want them to because you gotta fit within the constraints. Sorry, I'm just working that right there. And I'm going to work that. Aha, what's that? All right. I like it. You know what? I'm liking this. Okay. I don't like that as much, so we're going to see if we can't do something about that. I'm getting it as close to the edge as I can. Okie dokie. All right, good. Night done. All right, so there we go. Not a bad little bit of work. We got the beginnings of a PrintAQuest chess set. But we've only got 3. We got the knight. We got the... there we go. We got the rook. There we go. Got to remember the spirals on the other ones. And we got the pawns. And that's as far as we got this evening. I don't think that we'll be able to get any more because I need to go to bed. It's late. But hunka burning night. Yes, it is. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with me. And this has been a fun little challenge. If you would like to get your hands on these models, I am probably... Why does that look like it's off-kiltered? I'm probably going to be releasing this for free at some point. But if you'd like to get it sooner than that, then be sure to jump on my Discord, where we will go This is one problem with doing this late at night, is apparently my ability to speak goes out the wall. But as usual, if you enjoy this sort of thing, be sure to support me on Discord, Discord users get first access to all of these models. The Discord users this month have already got their hands on the Pirate Princess Zelda from PrintABlok. They will also be getting these files. I will probably be eventually releasing these files out to the public for free. I think that this will be a fun model to put out there for everybody. That said, you know, if you want it now, if you can't possibly wait, I will put these up in the rewards section of my Discord, which is available to anybody who has supported me on Patreon. So if you want these files, that's where you can get them right now. But otherwise, I want to thank you very much for watching. I want to thank you very much for hanging out with me. I want to thank you very much for spending your time with me. I know you have lots of other things that you could be doing, and it means a lot to me that you want to spend a little bit of time with me. I really appreciate it, guys. You're wonderful. For me, though, it's back to PrintABlok. So I'll get working on that so that I can get that delivered out to you guys as soon as possible. But thank you very much for watching. And I want to remind you that you are a child of a loving Heavenly Father. He cares about you. I care about you. So take care of yourself. I'll see you next time.